really small. They usually have 3 people on staff that do 12 different jobs. So every penny that this state raises to give towards those nonprofits makes a huge difference. And I hope you know that. If you don't, I really would implore you to do a site visit. And we can set that up. We can set that up if you want to get some people together and do that. We can set it up for you, and you can see firsthand. If your agency has a particular nonprofit that you're really passionate about, let's go see them. Let's go see them at work, because that's what we'll videotape it and we'll show everybody. At your kickoff, that's what makes a difference. That's what inspires people to give.
Honorary Chair, I am delighted and humbled and honored. Thank you all so much, because this is such an important activity that we as state employees have the opportunity to really make a big difference. And so I want to add my voice, my energy, and my efforts to making this the absolute best ever with our 25th year anniversary. So this is really, really, really special, and I am going to challenge all of us to step it up a few notches, and let's just make a mark such that people will forever remember what we did this year. Saturday was just a hoot. We had so much fun. It was just a delight to see everybody there. The day could not have been more beautiful. Whomever sent up the prayers and the ask for a more perfect day, thank you. It worked. It could not have been more perfect. And part of what really made it special was the level of energy and excitement and smiles, knowing what we could be doing, as well as having a good time and enjoying each other. And the dogs were just a kick. I loved the dogs. But as important as the dollars, I think, is getting the level of participation among state employees. We are 33,000 strong. And I suspect that we are at a percentage of people who actively participate in the campaign at a number that's been pretty steady over the years. I'd like to bump up that number this year and really make an effort to reach out to first-time donors, because we can not only get them engaged in the support of the agencies, but get them engaged as state employees in our community of state. I was asked to talk specifically about how do we get more engagement, and some of that has to do with how do we pull in the executive director, and quite frankly, and to be really bluntly, use the power of that bully pulpit in a way that really helps us honor energy, enthusiasm, activity, and some accountability for what happens around the campaign. We have 19 principal departments, probably 7 or 8 other offices that are under the governor's office, OIT, OEDIT, and some other acronyms. So we have, it sounds like, the opportunity to really break new ground here in terms of how do we get that level of engagement and authority over our campaigns. One of the things that I think makes a big difference is tying it into some existing efforts so that this doesn't become one of another in the list. If there are employee engagement activities, if there are employee council groups, if there are opportunities that the executive director's office has set out for really talking and interacting with the employees, those vehicles can be really very effective in getting a toehold with leveraging existing activities. So rather than trying to pull something new, if you have an employee council across the department, I know City LE has one, I know Dora has one, that's a great vehicle to go to say, how can we leverage what you do to really help us get a toehold into the department? Having presentation from the executive director in terms of a personal appeal, whether it's through a video message, whether it's through your message from the EDs. I know all departments will have some vehicle for an executive director message. If you have your town hall meetings or your community group meetings, having your executive director devote a part of the comments and remarks to the importance of the CCC is a great way to kind of elevate the message and not just have it with that one-off, but have some follow-up in terms of what that means to that individual. Having your executive director share some of those services really personalizes and humanizes what we do. That could not be more powerful. And you know what it does? It engages that individual to really understand the impact of what we're doing and to understand their ability to impact the campaign. So one of the things that I had come up with, I was thinking, how do we do this? How do we do this? Obviously, I'm going to be a big voice in the cabinet with the governor in terms of making people aware that this campaign is underway, that we are serious about meeting those goals, and really engaging the governor in helping to inspire and encourage other people in the cabinet to be more active in that regard. So that's part of my individual task that I have been charged with, and believe me, I have no problems in being that loud voice that is constantly in everybody's ear to make it happen. At the division, at the department level, one of the things you might do is to engage your executive director in some kind of activity that I would call an EB challenge. Something that you know that person has a particular individual interest in. We have people who love to run. We have people who love to bike. We have folk who are hikers. We have people who are skiers. We have people who love renovating old furniture and antiquing. Find some connection to engage your executive director on a personal level that you can then tag on as a way to fashion a set of activities or an event around that, and have that executive director be involved in acknowledging and keeping track, and at the end making whatever kind of award or recognition you might decide. Another group of people who have the ability to really help us in this are the deputies. They have access to the executive director that we may not have every day. To the extent that you can engage that level of senior staff and have them see that this is something that is really part of your executive director's agenda for whatever the campaign term might be, so it doesn't get lost. We'll have a real exciting one-time event, and then 6 weeks later, it will have been forgotten. We want to have some sustainability. We want to have something that will continue to deliver for the term of the campaign that we have going on. And again, tapping into existing employee activities around your department is a great way to do that. You don't have to to ensure that we have 100% participation by every member of cabinet to the campaign. And to get every executive director, to get every senior staff member in the governor's cabinet to sign on for some level of commitment or contribution to this cause. Because it's easier to go out and solicit from other folk when people see that you have the buy-in from your people inside your own organization. So going out to the United of the world, and going out to the Southwest, and going out to every major corporation in the state and say, this is what we've committed to. How can you help us reach our goal in making that happen?
But when I talk to people in the community about the Colorado Combined Campaign, most people have no idea what it is. If you talk to your neighbor, your friend down the street, somebody at your church, somebody at your community organization, wherever it is, and you say Colorado Combined Campaign, they have no idea usually what you're talking about. In fact, a lot of your coworkers don't know what you're talking about. And they should, because it's the only employee giving campaign that we have. Now, there could be others that could develop along the way. I know that the Colorado State Employees Assistance Program does a drive once in a while, but for the most part, the only campaign that we have for employees to give through executive order from the governor, and this goes back 25 years, is the Colorado Combined Campaign. So we're not going to come to you in February and ask, can you donate to this cause? And then we're going to come back to you in April and, can you donate to this cause? No, that's not the case. This is the one and only that we focus on. This is the one thing we're going to ask you to do, and it's the one thing we're going to ask you to go out to your colleagues and everybody else you know and spread the word. If you happen to mention to your acquaintances that state employees gave $1.2 million last year, it's not out of some corporate executive account. that's part of the company, that they're giving the money from the company. It's employees giving out of their checkbook, out of their payroll deductions. It's out of their own goodness of their heart. So the one thing that we're looking to do this year is to connect through things that really resonate with your coworkers, your colleagues, that they have. When you go back to your executive director, our goal this year is not to be standing over people demanding, like sometimes we had to do in private sector, participate, because that doesn't really work that well. To really get people to engage, it's to tell the stories. And if your executive director doesn't have the buy-in, find a story that they can connect with. One of the stories